Hello everyone, welcome back to another Train Sim World 6 video. Today we are checking out a custom scenario that I commissioned from Chucky Transport. The link to the scenario and his channel will be down in the description. Much thanks to him for making this, and he even credited me. Thanks, mate. This was released yesterday, so yeah, you'll see why this image is wrong in a minute. So we're supposed to take a heritage pacer service from Millerton to Minehead on the West Somerset Railway. You'll be spotting it at Millerton and need to drive to Minehead with passenger stops. Due to a bug, it wants you to stop at the wrong end of Minehead station, open the doors on the wrong side. The route is West Somerset Railway. The train is the Class 142 Pacer in the Ex-Arriva Trains Wales livery. By Just Trains, which is why the image is wrong. 0 from Millerton to Minehead, time 13:15, light clouds, estimated completion time 45 minutes, required add-ons, West Somerset Railway, Class 33, Class 52, the maroon version, the Transport for Wales, Pacer, Flying Scotsman, Andy, Thomas and Friends add-on. We've also got a timetable, which I don't think I'm going to follow. Feel free to make a YouTube video of the scenario as long as you credit his name with a link to the scenario, yes. Dovetail Live will not let me take new photos. This is not an accurate representation of the scenario. So yeah, let's go and play that scenario. Alright, welcome in viewers. Here we are at Willerton. Oh, for some reason my mouse is quite sensitive. Not exactly sure why that is. We've got another train on the other side. And it is looks like a Class 33. Nice. So, let's get the train set up. Open the doors. GSMR. We don't need that since this is a heritage railway. There goes the Crompton. Probably should confirm deregister. DRA, we've got a... Whoa. Is my zoom? Is that more zoom than usual? No, I don't think it is. Let's unset the DRA. AWS we do need. TPWS we actually don't because, well, yeah. Because this route is not equipped with TPWS. It's a heritage railway for a reason. Ooh, special, please. Let's do special. So yeah, we don't have West Somerset. Yeah, West Somerset destinations on the blind. Yeah, the reason I wanted to choose this.
The next station stop is Birch Grove.
Okay, the announcements work, but it's the wrong station. There's our red signal. Next stop, Donniford Halt. The reason I wanted to make the scenario made is because yeah, like Pacers. Oh, hello. What do I see approaching? I see a very special something approaching. DRA. Let's have a look. Aha! Scotsman. This is the first time I've ever played this scenario, so I wanted it to be like fresh, you know. My only request for the scenario is the route, the train, where I was going from and to, what layers would be included. Other than that, I had no say in how the scenario would function. Yeah, and I wanted the unbranded Arriva one because A, it's equipped with modern equipment, B, it's unbranded, so it makes sense to have this on a heritage railway. Though ironically, because the WSR is set in 2018, the Pacers are still in service in this time period. Here's Scotsman. Oh yeah. Also, viewers, I forgot to mention I am running a mod today. The London Midland Signal Visibility mod, but other than that, this is a completely unmodded gameplay experience. So our stops today are Willerton, Dodderford Holt, Watchet, Washford, Blue Anchor, Dunster, and Minehead. Oh boy. It's been a while since I was on the WSR, and I wanted something a bit out of the ordinary to do. Something that wasn't in the normal timetable stuff. But hopefully it should be easy to keep to speed. It's high summer in... Yeah, it's high summer and... Actually, it's too loud. I need to shut that window. I will keep the fan on, though. Yeah, again, big thanks to Chucky Transport for making this scenario. Oh, there we go. Hang on. I need to change ends once we get to Dodderford Hall. I don't know why I just got out of my seat. That's somewhat funny. Since this is a heritage service, I will sound the horn before every station, because why not? 200 yards to Dodderford Holt. Oh boy. Left that braking far too late. Easy does it. Oh, had a bit of a lock up there. Probably shouldn't have done that. There we go. Versus to neutral. Welcome to Dodderford Holt. Actually, I want to get a bit of a screenshot here, just in case I forget to do one later. Because the bridge nicely frames that. I do like that. Yeah. Yeah, TPWS, yeah, it's already isolated. Yeah. So, oh, I forgot to zoom the map out. So yeah, we're starting here, and we're heading all the way down here. Don't think yeah. There's the Great Western Main Line. There is actually an update for the WSR coming. So in the Steam Gala timetable, you will be able to see the cross-country Class 220 and Class 802 from the Riviera line, because all at the moment, the only stock that you can see is the HST, and I don't believe that update's coming for the old Diesel Gala timetable. Maximum line speed today is, of course, 25 miles an hour, because it's a heritage railway. You can't go above 25. Look at that. I forgot how good looking this route is after the remaster. It does have some pretty good scenery, even if a lot of the 3D assets are somewhat outdated. And the dynamic suspension of the Pacer does increase the realism. Next stop, Watchet, in just over half a mile. How's performance? Rock solid 60 FPS. That is the advantage of this being an older route that got upgraded. A lot of the assets don't hit the performance so much. And since it's a pretty slim timetable, because it's, well, a single track heritage line, you don't get too much of a performance hit. I do love the automatic guard buzzer after you've shut the doors, even in scenarios. That is a very nice touch. because yeah, of course it would be done with a conductor. I wonder if there are any paces actually based on the West Somerset in real life. Because, yeah, there are no less than 35 paces in preservation, with a lot of them being in running order, so... yeah. Let's start slowing down for that 10 limit, coming in to watch it. Where's the signboard for that 10 limit? Assume it's just up here. There it is. Hit the sander. That is one nice thing about having a modern era pacer, GSMR, TPWS, sander. Like a lot of stuff that you don't normally get in with the British Railways version for Blackpool branches. And that's why I prefer the Transport for Wales version, because while it doesn't run on as good of a route, and it has and it's generally pretty decent, well, very good I should say, it is it gets boring to drive after a while because you don't have many safety systems, and because the Blackpool branches didn't really have AWS support at the time, you don't really have that to contend with. So to have notch 2, welcome to watch it. Here you can see like a lot of the assets are older in quality. That was the one thing like the remaster couldn't really do, sadly, because that would basically require remaking the entire route from scratch. I mean, if you're from a distance, the assets do a decent job, but up close they are not the best. Oh, I forgot, pedestrians use the footbridge now. That's something that they didn't do even when the remaster came out. That was actually a later update. Oh, I keep thinking the door chime thing is come on. Right, next stop Washford in 2.2 miles. Yeah, one reason why I don't play West Somerset as often is because with the hard constant 25-mile-an-hour limit, it does get a bit boring and it takes a while to complete. But I think my main problem with it is I'm just cursed when it comes to driving steam engines on this route, because every time bar one that I've driven a steam engine on this route, I just run a red signal, which is hilarious. I don't know how I've been that consistent with spans, but there we go. Having to use notch 4, try to even maintain speed. This is so slow, but yeah. I suppose this is the Pacers' happy place, like Heritage Railways, where people who never got to experience the Pacers in their mainline era now get to experience the pleasures of riding in a Pacer on Heritage Railways. And I think a few of the Pacers in preservation are still mainline certified, which is pretty impressive. Hello. I think the last time I drove the full West Somerset was in Flying Scotsman, and before that I did the Thomas and Friends story mode. You do have to keep an eye out for the bugged stop marker at Minehead, which sadly we can't really do anything about because, well, it's a root thing, not a creator thing, thankfully. So far, the scenario's been pretty good. Haven't seen any other trains yet, but then we haven't any passing loops as yet. Do like the scenery. Needed to blow the horn there. Oh my goodness, the flange squeal. Oh my goodness, that flange squeal is so loud. This is the first time in a very, very long time that I've played a Creators Club scenario. Oh, come on. And I'm glad it was one that I requested. Like, this is a good idea. Like, not often you do heritage runs with the pacer in this game. And I figured, like, why not? I know there is another heritage railway that you could run this on, and you're probably thinking, wait a minute, the West Somerset is the only British heritage railway in the game. And you'd be right, for if you're talking about DLCs, but there is actually a mod made by Ryan Gregg that adds the Severn Valley Railway, which you can download off of the Train Sim community website. However, that is it is very much a work in progress. And it requires Blackpool branches, Riviera, and the cross-country 220, so you just bear that in mind before you download it. And of course it's PC only, sadly. Like, consoles still don't support mods. Like, there's other console games that do support mods. I'm thinking specifically of the Transport FIFA 2 supports mod crossplay between PC and PC, and yet, yeah. We still don't have mod support for consoles in this game, but I really hope Dovetail fix the blurry textures issue on console first before adding anything new. They are working on it. Dovetail are working on it. I don't know how much they'll be able to fix, but, well, because it's Dovetail Games we're talking about, they usually just superficially gloss over bugs, but yeah, that's a rant for another day. 600 yards to Washford. The service is, I forgot to mention it to Chucky, but I did want the service to be an all-stopper, so I'm glad he made it one without my needing to ask him. We go, Washford. Not a passing point, but it does have a yard. I forgot how enjoyable the WSR was to run on. Step 1 on the brakes. Coming in speedy, but yeah. So we. Yeah, looks as though we do have a decent amount of passengers. I forgot this platform area is still basically flat grass texture. That was something the remaster couldn't fix, apparently. What's ironic is, because, yeah, our stopping point fouls these sets of tracks. So, trains can't come in like this and then up into the yard. That's funny. What's this signal supposed to be? Please let me know in the comments. I've never seen this kind of British semaphore before. Anything in the yard? Probably not, because you can't really play static stock at the Creators Club, but yeah, it is what it is. Next stop after this will be Blue Anchor, which is probably one of my favourite stations on the line. Hang on. I thought the weather was supposed to be light clouds, and yet I haven't seen a cloud all day. Oh well, it is what it is. Oh, that's reverse. Watch 3. Okay. I thought we would do a hill start, but I managed to pull it off anyway. Next stop, Blue Anchor in 2 miles. On a steep downhill section as we head back toward the sea. I wish this route... Oh! I actually forgot something. The West Somerset Railway actually... The Steam Gala timetable still has the layer for the West Cornwall local Class 150 Sprinter, despite the fact that we have a GWR Sprinter in the game now. So I think Liam of Grump Dog Games, who's the guy who did the remaster, said he would add the Cross Country 220 to Class 802 and then the GWR 150. So yeah, I'm glad we won't have to use the West Cornwall local one anymore, because having the regional railways livery for a modern era service looks a bit out of place. What's also sad, but it's not really the fault of anyone, is that the route ends at Norton Fitzwarren. If it could have continued up to Taunton, we could have done the full Taunton to Bishop's Lydian shuttle. But it is what it is, I suppose. Nope. Come on. It's actually really steep. This is precisely the sort of terrain that the Pacer absolutely hates. It's Blue Anchor, Dunster, Minehead, if I'm not mistaken. I honestly need to take out Thomas the Tank Engine. I haven't played any of the Thomas stock in ages, and I'd like at least like 3-4 months. Need to do that again. That sounds fun. Oh, come on. Basically, I have to keep taking on and taking off notch 1 of brakes. No, you don't, buddy. You have an AWS magnet. Do they work? Yes, they in answer. Yes, they do. That's actually great. We do have a... Is that yellow? Yeah, it's a yellow signal. I'm not too used to using semaphore signaling. Well, I am. If you really want to practice well with semaphore signaling and like a bit of a challenge and have a PC, I highly recommend Diesel Railcar Simulator, because that's British Rail in the 1960s, so you have semaphores lit for literally every single signal you come across. And you also have AWS as well, because that was like a new innovation at the time. Approaching the sea again. Look at us go. Oh man. Doing a heritage run in the Pacer, in a modern era Pacer. I know it's not really like preservation, because I doubt a preservation era Pacer would have TPWS, but if we could have a preservation era Pacer as like a cheap gameplay pack from Just Trains for this line. Don't know if there are any Pacers preserved on this line, but that'd actually be pretty dang cool if we could have a preservation era Pacer with all the trimmings, or even better, like a class 143 or 141 Pacer in the appropriate livery. Like Arriva Trains Wales were running 143s in 2019, so it'd be a perfect add-on for the Cardiff City Network 2019 timetable, because all we have is the 142, and while I do like the 142 and it's my favorite variant, I do think Just Trains could add the new version. They do have a red signal, so yeah. I do like the Ex-Arriva unbranded livery, but I do prefer the Transport for Wales stickering on that Ex-Arriva livery that you get. Here we go, blue anchor and red signal. So yeah, let's come into the platform. Oof, I would not want to be living there. That's a trailer park. Oof. I think that West Somerset actually is going to be doing year-round running. I think I saw an article in Railway Magazine recently where they're actually going to be starting year-round running on the West Somerset Railway, also for the benefit of the local population as well, which is pretty cool. I think yeah, I actually want to look up how many, if there are any paces on the WSR. Right, just turned 1:40 p.m. DRA on. Hang on, I want to look this up. Just mute my mic real quick. Okay, I just looked it up. There are no Pacers preserved on the West Somerset Railway. They focus on preserving rolling stock typical of the GWR and Somerset and Dorset Joint Railway, not the more modern Pacer units. Yeah, that makes sense, but honestly, since it's GWR stock, why not have... Wait a minute. It's a familiar little blue tank engine. Oh, look who it is. It's Thomas. I figured since it was on the West Somerset Railway, might as well get Chucky to throw Thomas in. Oh, look at him. Oh, the iconic chuffing sound coming into range. Look at his eyes moving around. Hang on. I actually want to try and get the Pacer and Thomas together. And now, let's try and get that as a good screenshot. Like angled toward the Pacer. What about if I do it from this angle? Not really. I'll probably do it from this angle. Yeah, that looks decent. I will happily have that. Oh my goodness. Oh, I keep thinking that's the DSD going off. Are you gonna change? Yes, okay. Having Thomas, that's so cool. See if the gates open after we cross over. Yay! That's so cool that that does that. And the pedestrians use that little footpath as well. That is actually... That's only one of 2 routes in the game which do that. The only other... The route... This is only... As I said, this is only one of 2 routes in the game which lets the NPCs use foot crossings. The other 2 routes in question... The other route in question being the Mittenwaldbahn by Train Sim Germany. That was the feature that was the route that feature was originally introduced on. Seeing Thomas, that made my day. 1.5 miles to Dunster. We're at our maximum line speed. It would not be, going back to Thomas, it would not be a Chucky transport scenario without the inclusion of Thomas. Yeah. This is actually, the West Somerset was actually the first railway first DLC I mean, first route in the Train Sim World catalogue to be remastered with the Cathcart Circle line following shortly afterward with the Class 380 DLC. But yeah, but there is a 3rd remaster on the way for the Great Western Express Paddington to Reading route. Unfortunately, that remaster's been in the works for well over a year now, and we still don't have it, so hopefully it'll release soon, but knowing Dovetail, it probably has been ready for release for like the past many months, but they've just held it back to increase hype for TSW6. This is actually quite relaxing. So it's so relaxing that I've heard cases of people driving trains on the WSR and actually falling asleep because they're just going so slowly. We do have a 10 limit coming into Dunster and then a 5 limit leaving it. 5 miles an hour. I think that's the slowest speed limit on any part of this line. So, I think Dunster Castle's up there, but I don't think it's rendered in. That's annoying. Shut off the throttle. This will be our second to last stop before Minehead. And please do remember that Minehead does have a broken stop marker. Start slowing down for Dunster. So yeah. Sadly, this wouldn't be a pacer on the line, but it would be like a rail tour coming off of a different heritage railway. Slow down. 10 limit reached. Yeah, the speed limits on this line are points very, very strict. We do have a flashing white signal indicating that we I almost said cannot, but we can cross at this little signal here. This little level crossing. No gates, so that's probably why the speed limit is so low. Oops. Left the brakes on too long. Okay, we do have a 15 limit. Let's give it notch 3. Just to get us up. Just get us up to reasonable speed. Yeah. One reason I like the WSR is it just has a lot of good rolling stock. The Class 47 is good. The Class 09 is good. The 33 and 52 are really good, especially since all the aforementioned stock now has dynamic suspension. And yeah. Welcome to Dunster. Normally, over on this little track here, if you have the mastery unlocked, they're actually shown unloading a Fowler 4F. So I'm wondering, all those years ago, maybe it's like a teaser for Peak Forest. Yeah, we also have it. Oh, that's why the speed was so slow. This crossing has no lights, no like warning lights, no barriers, no nothing. So yeah, I'm not surprised a little bit. It's only 5 miles an hour. You wouldn't want any crashes happening. Yeah, and there's just a straight shot all the way down to Minehead. Keep thinking that's a DSD. Notch 2, 3. No, let's try notch 3. Easy does it. Oh, do have to be careful. That's 5 miles an hour. That's the slowest limit I've ever had in the Pacer. Do have to be very careful. Yeah, this crossing gives me the heebie-jeebies because I know, well, the train sim world traffic can't cause issues with running into trains and such like, but in real life, this crossing is probably a bit hairy if you've got loony car drivers around. Right. Clear up to 25. 9.5 miles to Minehead. Let's see where that stop marker is actually placed. Oh, it's placed all the way up here. Oh dear. And there's also a train there. Wonder what that could be. We'll see. Already seen Scotsman Thomas and a Class 33. One thing I wish, no, never mind, it wouldn't have worked. Had an idea, but yeah, it wouldn't have worked. Yeah, I do like how the Just Trains developers included a special for the destination box, so you could literally run it anywhere and just put the special onto the headcoat box. One mile to go. Should get there pretty soon. I wonder why it's just the railway was just built completely straight all the way to from Dunster to Minehead. It's basically dead straight, but the longest section of straight track that you can find is oh, that's a yellow signal. The longest section of straight track that you can probably find in Train Sim World is the section north of Meppel on the Zwolle to Groningen line in the Netherlands, because there is a section of that line that goes for like 20 kilometers that's just completely straight, which is just insane. I have a green signal. Oh man, this is yeah. Doing a heritage pacer with modern equipment, that is something I have been wanting to do for a while, because yeah, a lot of pacers in preservation, I assume, have a lot of modern era equipment like a GSMR, TPWS, that sort of thing. I don't know, I'm no expert. Do have a 10 limit soon, 700 yards to go. That fence on the left was falling down. I never noticed that little detail before. Thought the sander was running. It was just the fan above the driver's cab. That's the 10 limit. We've got a flashing white signal indicating we can proceed. Sound the horn just in case. It's weird seeing an Arriva train's Wales livery on a GWR heritage line, but it is what it is, I suppose. Yeah, there's our stop marker. Ooh, class 52 in the maroon livery. I don't have the BR Blue 52 myself because it's off of Diesel Legends of the Great Western, and that's a pack I'm never going to buy. That's just a weird pack. Why put all that BR heritage stock on a modern era GWR route? It's just weird. It's the only BR era route in this game I don't have. Alright. It'll make us open the doors on the wrong side due to the bug, but... Ooh. Oh man, that maroon Western. I forgot how good it looked in the sunlight. Right, we're stuck too far up the platform, and the head code box hasn't loaded in properly, but I think that's a TSW issue. What? It's not acknowledging that we've stopped. Hang on. Hold, please hold. See if it acknowledges us now. Right on top of the stop marker, and it still hasn't acknowledged us. Come on, buddy. Yep. Does it open the doors? It opens the doors. Hang on. This might... I think I have an idea of how to solve this issue. Listen to that Western go. I think it might just say we just have to fail the objective. Hang on. We've overshot it by a long way. Let's see if it does it now. There we go. Unlock the doors on the left. Ah. Well, it was just an experiment. Yep. Makes us open the doors on the wrong side. That's a route issue. Oh, I shut the doors. Oh, come on. Shut the doors on them. Come on. That looks hilarious, but yeah, that's an issue. Oh, wait a minute. Western Champion. I've seen a Western in real life. It was heading to the Railway 200 celebrations in Derby, and it passed through Maidenhead on the GW Great Western Main Line. It had a nameplate, the one I saw, but was it Western Champion? I don't know. Yeah, welcome to Minehead. We can't go all the way down because, well, fail us, but lock both. There we go. We didn't get a medal, but we did get a considerable number of points. So yeah, that'll be all for this video, everybody. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell for notifications. Thank you again to Chucky Transport for making this scenario. Link in the description, and I'll see you on the next one. Goodbye.